folks, Jonathan here. Okay, getting ready to fire some steam engines up today. We're going to run the big boiler today, and done a little changing. You know, I don't like to do the same thing every time. I like to have something a little bit different or change a little bit. And I didn't get a lot done, but I did get the exhaust on this big one. Ended up running all my drains out to the side here because it was so hot to reach up under that thing. So we should be able to drain front and rear cylinder, front and the rear of the cylinder, and the steam chest from right here. Now this didn't have a valve on the steam chest at all, just had it plugged off. And when I took the plug out, water just poured out, so that tells me for sure that it needed one. So that engine is set up, ready to go. I might, because I've got about an hour before I start firing, and then I'll have, you know, another hour and a half after that before it gets up and going. Clean the flues out so it seems to come up a little quicker when they're good and clean. So this packing was leaking, so I may slide the packing back and put some packing material in there and tighten it back down just to try to keep it from leaking. I'm going to try to run this engine here for quite a while. Then cat, are you here to help? So anyway, been collecting these wrenches too, buying them when I get a chance. These are called engineer wrenches, and they were used for various things, but you know, mainly steam engines was one that was pretty big that they used them on. So I've got a lot of different ones, a lot of different sizes. So we're going to start cleaning them up, and I think I'll put a board up in the probably over there in one of them buildings there, and try to get them hung up, and trying to get some of my mess cleaned off here. This is just all antique stuff. Most all of it's old antique wrenches and such like that. Of course, there's my pipe wrenches I use, 60 inch, well, a couple of 60s. I think that one actually is a 48, even though it's longer than the 60, and that's weird. But anyway, old pipe wrenches seem to work really good when they got good teeth on them, better than some of the new stuff with good teeth on them. So anyway, all right, so this engine here, I ran some exhaust stuff on it, but I also put a Swift lubricator on it. This engine here I didn't run long. I would just put some oil in it every once in a while, and then I'd just fire it up and shut it back off just as a demonstration. But I think I'll run it longer this time, is why, you know, I went ahead and get the oilers on them. The Bates engine, put a bigger oiler on it, hydrostatic lubricator. Let me see, we've got this little engine here. I put a Swift hydrostatic lubricator on it and did some work on it because I want to be able to run it a while. We may end up making ice cream, we don't know. And then like I said, these other engines that you've already seen run. I did put one gasket on this engine. Now, I know I've still got leaks in the rods for both the valve rod and the piston rod, but that's okay. I don't think they're worth trying to tighten. The shafts are so rough and stuff, so we're gonna later on go through this one, but you know, it's for demonstration anyway. So we've got a gasket on it, and we're gonna probably try to do a little bit of filming here. Got Ninacat looking around. So we've still got, of course, the Buffalo Forge engine. I did change the oiler on it also, another hydrostatic lubricator. This is actually the lubricator come off of the Bates, and I put a bigger one on and then put it onto here. And I was having some issues with the one I had on here not working like it should, and so we're going to work on it later. But picked this up. Wanted to get this hooked up and never did. This is a DC bell, dated 1870. Or patent 1870. It's probably, you know, a few years later than that, of course, but this is DC 110, so I could run that bell on this DC unit. I wanted to put a button over here so my grandson and all could ring it, but we'll eventually get all of that. And let me see, Henry Ford engine. I still want to tear into that. We've got a noise in the engine. I don't know whether it's I don't think the piston's loose because I've had the head off. I think there's a noise in the piston valve on this one, and it may be loose on the rod, I don't know. But we're going to check it out because I want to get this to where we can run it for a long time sometime. I just started up and shut it off. I really don't run it long. And our wall of treasures there, and we got picked that up the other day, Westinghouse cast aluminum sign. It's not steel, or it's not cast iron. What else have we done? Okay, made some seats here. I had these seats and I just folded them onto some stuff so we could have some place to sit. But me and my wife and my son, when we're out here, let me see. Steam pump. I put new rings in this steam pump. This is a different style of an oiler, so you wouldn't want to use this oiler while it's running because it would just blow the steam out. So what you do is when you after you shut it off or shut the steam down to it, just open this up and do a couple of pumps and then close it back, and it definitely works. And that puts steam oil into the cylinder, and then you don't have to worry about it. So we finally plumbed our big boiler into our heat exchanger. So we've got the exhaust for the two little engines running through here, which is going to preheat the exhaust. We've got the water running into the steam pump. We've got the water running up from the steam pump, running across, and we've got it running down here to a check valve, and then we've got it running into our boiler here. So we're going to preheat the water, of course, but hopefully that'll work, and we just want it for a backup. And I also got, show you another backup here. Okay, so what I've got is here's our injector, and that last time that I fired, I had a little issue with that injector and don't know why. It don't make much sense to me. We're going to try something if we have any trouble. I've got another injector here, another 1-inch Penberthy. And I went ahead and put a suction pipe on it and a valve this way. So this pipe's in the front, that pipe's to the side. So I did that so I wouldn't have to do anything but turn off this valve, turn off my check valve, and then take these two fittings loose, that one and this one over here, and then I can just change it out. And then you know, we'll test this one. I've cleaned it, had it apart and back together and everything, so I think it's okay. I didn't see any wore out parts or anything like that on it, so I think it'll be okay. So we'll figure out what happened with the other one. It's got to be something, you know, minor, something stuck in it, something. But anyway, we're going to try it. I've got a nice big packed up with pine straw, pine cones and wood, the boiler, so she's ready to fire. So probably about another hour before I start her up and get her rolling, but I think that's about it. I'd love to have gotten more engines hooked up, different engines, big engines, but just haven't done it yet. We're going to try to go wide open. The next thing's going to be foundations in this other room, and I think I've changed what I'm going to do. I'm going to put both cordless down bottom, put the Erie up top. So we're going to keep them all three close. We got plenty of room in there. I mean, I know it'll fill up pretty quick when you start putting big engines in there, but it won't be too bad. So anyway, all right, I'll try to film a little bit when we're running. We'll see how that works out. All right, we got a steam turbine, Soleil, Erie, Currituck engine. There's the anchor winch. There is a blower engine, Sturdivant. There's a Schofield, a Bates, the biggest Sears and Roebuck sold, and a 4-horse Sears and Roebuck. Running all of them at the same time. And we had this one running, but we shut it down a little bit ago. Just shut them down one at a time. Oh, we'll leave that one running. Turn it off. Okay, so I ran this engine, which is the 4-horse Sears and Roebuck, made by somebody else, but sold through Sears and Roebuck. The 1.5 horse, so it's sold through Sears and Roebuck, and I actually, that's the medium size and the small one, and then I've got a 10 horse, the big one. So, ran the exhaust through my tank, and as you can see, my feed water is 180 degrees. So that's more than adequate to run through my pump to put in my boiler. That's what I've been using, that and the injector. And let me see, we're down on steam right now because we hadn't put no wood in. It's 25 pounds, and we got, of course, plenty of water if you can see it. So we're just down to, we got 3 engines running now. The big Corliss, the big Schofield, which has done really good today. I've run it, let me see, I don't remember what time we started. I guess we probably started around 11, so 5 hours maybe. 5 or 6 hours we've run this and the Bates engine. And we've got a little work to do on this one, but it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty good. We've been working on that packing, tightening it down slowly here and there. My son's been here with me. We've been firing most of the day. And I've got these drains on this side. They're so much easier to operate from here. This engine's been really good to us today, and is a really good runner. And the exhaust is exactly what I wanted. I mean, bad part is, well, it's not getting the pine straw off, but it puts water on the roof and then it runs off, but that's okay. You can live with that. So, and of course the Bates engine. So the goal for me and is to get the other 2 big Corliss engines set up in the Erie engine. And I just, you know, of course prefer the bigger engines. I like them, like working on them, like running them better. But got plenty of small stuff, and so we're just going to continue to put this big stuff together and try to get it running and going. So anyway, all right. Till next time. Bye.